this is Tina with You Made That, and I've got some special guests today. So first I'm going to introduce my friend Dori.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. Dori has her own YouTube channel. It's a flosstube channel, so it's for cross stitchers, and it's Dori 23 Stitches. So be sure and check her out. Dori and I are now going to welcome Susan. Susan from Sweet Wing Studio.
Hello.
We are going to pick Susan's brain a little bit about all things cross stitch. Here is Susan's logo and her website. So there's a little sneak peek. Here's a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. Susan just came back from Nashville Market with all the cross stitch pattern designers and buyers and all things cross stitch. We're going to talk to Susan a little bit about that. Okay.
Hi.
Okay, and Dori just asked all those burning questions you've always wanted to ask Susan.
Oh my goodness, I can't even think. It's like I'm so excited to be able to meet you, Susan. And we've met before. We've spoken on Instagram, but it's nice to see everyone face to face. Basically, I'm just curious about how this all works. Like when you went to Nashville, how do you know how many patterns to actually print of all the? You have so many designs, so many beautiful designs, and then you have to bring enough for everybody to purchase. So how do you? I know you do pre-orders, but like, how many did you have to print? Was that a huge undertaking?
It kind of is. After a few years, you kind of get the hang of how many to bring, and it increases as you get more popular or people find out who you are and they want your patterns. Pre-orders do help a lot because that's, obviously that's the majority of what people are going to be purchasing, but then they do purchase at market as well. So you have to make sure that you have plenty extra to sell to people who just come to market just to pick up and purchase the patterns in person. So yeah, it's a little bit of a guessing game, and I like to err on the side of better be safe than sorry. And I usually bring several more than I need. Let's just put it that way. I'm usually taking some home, which is fine. Sometimes I sell out, which makes me really happy, but usually I have plenty left over, and that also works out good because later I can send those to distributors because they come after market.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. And do you find a lot more people are preferring a PDF lately, or are they wanting the paper pattern?
The PDF thing is definitely taking off. I definitely get more requests for PDFs than I used to. Even some shop owners and retreat organizers are asking for PDFs. So it's moving that way. I don't see how we can really avoid it the way technology is going. And I'm fine with that. When I'm folding and bagging 1,800 patterns for market, then I'm okay with PDFs. PDF is a great idea.
That's funny.
But it is good to have both because shoppers that go to actual shops, they want to see it and hold it and know what they're getting. And that makes sense too. And I don't want that to ever die out. I really don't. But PDFs are a thing too. And there was some discussion at market about how we could maybe work together to offer both, like somebody buy the pattern, but it has like a QR code inside of it that they can scan and get the PDF.
That's interesting.
That may be coming down the pike. We're talking about it, so we'll see.
I like PDF because one, it's instant and it's like bought it, printed it, now I can start it if I want. And two, it's color. So if I buy a black and white in a shop, I use colored pencils and I color it because I have to. It helps. But, okay, so we were talking about Instagram, and that's how Dori and I met. Is we were talking about wordy birds, and Dori just, was asking me questions, said she liked the finish that I had for wordy birds. So I'll show you guys wordy birds.
Oh, I love them.
So it's a monthly subscription, and we are already into April. I am about halfway through April. My goal is to do them all and so far so good. Now, Susan, you kind of partnered up with heartlandquiltstitch.com, and they're a mother-daughter team. They are releasing Wordy Birds monthly for us. We get an email from them. They're like, do you want May? Yes, I do. Here's the money. I get a PDF. You can also get it mailed to you.
I get it mailed.
Oh, you get it mailed?
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, the instant thing. It's like, give me but it's totally addicting. Now, I will say on Dori's flosstube video, she said something that I thought was so perfect for Wordy Birds.
I'm very proud of this. I love it. I love it. And each month is cuter than the last. They are just so fun, these birds.
And it's true.
Yep. I love them.
I mean, so thank you, Susan, because of your stitch, we're friends now.
Yes. Do you know how I found you, actually? I clicked on the Wordy Birds hashtag. I said, I want to see who else is working on this. And that's how I found Tina.
Yay. That's good. Well, and so then these were mine. And I said, hey, here's how I'm finishing it and whatever. And Dori and I were just talking about it. So it's great. Now, I am not a big fan of fully finishing pieces. I will make a pillow, but if I can slap it on something, I will. And this is what I did. So this is ordered from Paisley and Polka Dot. I was hesitant at first because I thought I'm going to have to paint in all this little scroll work. Not really, because this comes separate. So it was like, sweet. And then you put the magnet washer things on the back, dollar store magnets, and you slap it on. And when you're done with 1 month, you slap it on. So I just hot glued the back too. That's my kind of finish. One finish for 12 months, 12 projects. Yeah, that works. That works for me.
That's adorable.
But Susan, in hers, this is Susan's picture. Now you used frames, and that is pretty great too. I see some white frames and then some browns. So tell us a little bit about Wordy Birds, Susan.
Okay. Well, Terry and Jamie from Heartland Quilting and Stitching, they're also Cornhusker State Stitchers on flosstube. So they have a little bit of a double flosstube going. They approached me last year and asked if I would come up with an exclusive that I could do through them. And they gave me some time to think about it, and I presented Wordy Birds to them. I actually thought of the whole series on my way to Stitch, Florida last year. I had my phone out, and not while I was driving, but when I was at a stoplight or whatever, I would write down what I had thought of for each month, the type of birds and the phrase to go with it, and the colors or the flowers that I was going to include. It's been really fun, and it's a good type of challenge to come up with, something to match the fabric, to match the colors, to match the flowers, to come up with a good phrase to use. Sometimes I struggle a little bit with getting the right phrase because, I could get really silly. I forget which one I was going to do just for fun. I wasn't going to actually publish this, but something like, bless your heart, grab a cart. I don't know, just stuff that when I can't come up with something, I just start to get silly. But anyway, don't worry, none of them will be that ridiculous, I promise. But yeah, it's been really fun. And they actually asked me this past market when we saw each other in market. They asked if I want to do another one for next year. So starting to think about that. So I'm not sure what that might be. It might be something totally different, or it might be something similar, but we'll see.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. We have a visitor. Sorry.
Someone wants some camera time.
This is Snowy. Sorry. It's just easier to hold her instead of letting her tail go in front of my face. Sorry.
That's perfectly fine. Well, I have a soft spot for bird patterns and pretty bird, cute bird. And so when I knew that you were doing this, I'm like, yeah, I mean, sign me up. It's
Yes.
a no-brainer. And so if you want to still get in on this, contact heartlandquiltstitch.com and ask them how you can get on the Wordy Birds, because there's still plenty of months left.
I'm so excited to see them all. This has been so fun.
Well, we got a surprise for our viewers. Susan is sharing May.
Yay, it's so pretty.
Sneak peek at May. As we're filming this, this is March 22nd. So this is coming out soon, right? Will it be the first of the month? 1st of April that it'll come
Yes, they'll be going out the last week of March, the first week of April.
out? Okay. So
Oh, so pretty.
each
love it.
one is cuter than the last.
This one is probably my favorite so far.
Oh.
You keep saying that.
I don't know. I just kind of, focusing in on making it just a little bit better every time.
Well, and that's the best. Like if the designer says March is my favorite so far, and then she says April is my favorite so far, and then she says May is my favorite, that's a good thing. Like that is something I want to stitch too, because they're fun to stitch. You guys, I'm so addicted to the borders. I start with the bottom border first.
Oh.
I don't
It's
know.
so different, Tina, because I dread that border sometimes. It's fun in a way, because it's once you get into a rhythm, you know where to go to stitch and you know what colors to use where. But it can feel a little daunting when you're about a third of the way through and you look and you see how much more you've got left to do. But it's fun. I think it's worth it in the end.
I think so too. And that's what I do. It's kind of like a puzzle. It's like, where's my pattern with this color? And then where do I go from here? And then, and then it's just really fun. I don't know. It's just, that's me.
I love it.
My husband calls this one the birds and the bees.
Oh, that's perfect. Completed so far was January, and I did the bottom banner last.
Yes.
I don't know why. I usually I'm a center starter, so I usually start with the words there and then build around it. But this one is this is so pretty. I'm so excited. I'm fangirling a little bit here.
That's why she's so quiet. She's over there going,
Yes.
Okay, what do we have? Speaking of birds, okay, Susan was part of this series, another series called Feathered Friends, and other people did other months, right? And you did March.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about that.
Okay, this one is another Paisleys and Polka Dots finishing board, and she supplied those for all of us who were making each month. So we have a calendar full of cute birds, and they all have a birdhouse, and they all have a little month tag that you can stitch for the bottom. And the piece that Paisleys and Polka Dots made is just so cute. It comes like in pieces, and you do have to paint each piece. But her instructions are so good that you don't have to question what to paint, what color. I mean, it's just once you get everything out, it's pretty obvious what goes where. This was my first time using something like that, and it was great. And I'm glad that she made it so easy to use, which made it easier for me.
And then other designers, she asked other designers, so every month looks pretty unique because it's different designers' spin on whatever bird they chose.
I will say too, the organizers of this was Laura at Textilly and Annie with Dirty Annie's. And they did a great job organizing everything. And also Caroline with the Stitching Kitten. I think she did February. She did the February birdhouse. I got to meet her at market, and she was super sweet. She helped out a lot with the organization and made some little flyers, basically, so shops would know where to go to get the other birdhouses at market. So that was very helpful and sweet.
I've seen the one of my shop, my LNS has the thing where you can purchase the tree. Then she has all the designers laid out on the table. It's really, it's a very cute idea. It's adorable. It's adorable. And I'm so glad that you're part of it because you're our favorite. So of course we want you to be in there.
Thank you. The robin looks similar to my wordy birds, but this little robin here, she's a little bigger. She's a fat little robin. Dogwoods have always been special to me because of the story behind dogwoods. Do y'all know that? The legend of the dogwood?
No.
Wow.
Okay. Basically, it symbolizes the cross.
Oh,
So look that up sometime when you have time.
okay.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
No, me either.
It's very cool. So I was excited to do dogwoods, and I had a wonderful and talented and loyal and wonderful model stitcher for this one. So
Oh,
Christina did that for me, and she did it quickly. I needed it quickly, so she did that, and that was much appreciated as always. And she does a beautiful job with her stitches, so I really appreciate that.
and it's a beautiful pattern. So she had a really nice palette to work with. I love that one.
Thank you.
Yes. Hi, Christina. Shout out. Okay, so if you haven't already joined Susan's Patreon, join Susan's Patreon, Sweet Wing Studio on Patreon. You get free stuff. You can even join for free. But if she offers 3 different tiers above the free version, and you get free stuff. You get savings on patterns on her Etsy shop. There's all the perks are on the Patreon. So some of the things that we're going to show today are available to those of us on Patreon. Other things are available in the Etsy store. So we'll try and delineate what's what, how you can get what. So going back to Nashville Market, Susan also released these 2. Now, if you have a local needlework shop, LNS, in your area, go ahead, stop in, ask for these from Sweet Wing. That's where they will be. They are not available anywhere else. They only went to shops. And they're so cute. You got the sampler on the left with the letters and the numbers, and then the "You Are My Sunshine, My Only Sunshine." I mean, you got to love it. Thank you, Susan.
You're welcome.
I might have to stitch that one for my son because I used to sing that to him before bed when he was little.
My daddy used to sing that to me too, so that one was all for him.
Aw, that's beautiful.
Thank
I know. I love that. Now, these were available on your Patreon, right?
Right.
Okay. This is the day the Lord has made. That one came with the little rejoice one on the right, and that is one that I stitched because I thought, oh, I'm going to stitch this one quick, and I turned it into a pillow, sent it to my friend Angela as a little gift, and then went right back to my wordy birds. But I mean, the colors in this one, they're so
Beautiful.
pretty.
I really enjoyed that blue in the verse stitch. That blue is hydrangea from Classic Color Works, and it was just so beautiful, especially in person. The picture never does it justice, as you know. The color is just fabulous. I want to use it in more design, so I kind of set it off to the side so I would see it again.
Again, join the Patreon because you get free stuff every month.
I have 2 that I printed out that I love. So this one, Love is My Jam. This was from the Patreon. So that's all ready to go for me. And then I had the Winter Wonder. So I love the Patreon. I get very excited when Susan sends us little notes or the free pattern. So it's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend people join that.
Another freebie that Susan just released to us on Patreon is Bunny Business. Look at the eyes. They're hearts. You
I
guys.
just noticed that too. It's so cute.
They're just really happy. These little bunnies are hardworking bunnies, and they, you know how much eggs cost these days. So they were super excited to find this big golden egg. So they're showing it off in a basket.
And then this one kind of goes with it. It's like a little small. How was this one released?
That one came out in my mid-March newsletter. So if you are watching and you like my patterns, please sign up for my newsletter. I like to send out freebies several times a year. And I also write a monthly newsletter that includes just whatever I'm up to. And I also like to do what I call 3 terrific things. And that's just 3 things that I have run across in the last month or so that I'm enjoying, such as a recipe or a phone app or just anything. I just like to throw those recommendations out there because they're fun.
Okay, tell us about This is another one that came out recently.
Okay. This is spring, and it's just a window scene. It kind of, I don't know why really, but it made me think of my grandmother's house. She didn't have curtains like that, but I think if she saw curtains like that, she would have bought them and put them in her house. But I just wanted to do a pretty little window scene. I've always been fascinated by the sky and clouds. So I thought of a way to use the fabric, which for this would be called for the blue. So the whole thing is not full coverage stitching, thankfully, but you just leave the blue part through the window blank and just stitch the clouds and the tree and the grass. That way it looks like the sky. And this would be great on a hand dyed piece with some like modeling in the blue to make the sky look real. But anyway, I love gingham. I would put gingham in every corner of my house if I could get away with it. To me, it's a kitchen. I don't know. It could be anywhere, but it looks like a kitchen to me. This is available in my Etsy shop, and it's available for free if you are a free or paid Patreon member. There will also be summer, autumn, and winter windows coming up later this year.
I'm already looking forward to the fall one in particular. I love fall.
Will they all be gingham curtains? Just different colors?
Yes.
I love stitching gingham. It's fun. That's a
I
I
fun
know it is, isn't it? Yeah. It's a
Yes.
little like it is full coverage, to get the actual effect of gingham, but I like it too.
Yeah, it's pretty. I'm excited. I can't wait.
Good.
I do have one finish of Susan's designs, and it is the God is Good, which I love because this was one of my favorite songs to sing in church. And I have my name. I don't know. Do you guys think I have my initials and date? I think they're a little too close to the design, so I might unpick that and move it down a little bit. But
No, I think it looks good like that.
and Susan, I do have a question for you. You have It As Well also. Is that meant to be a companion to this one?
Kind of, yeah. You can think
I
of
did
it as a
purchase that.
companion.
I have it.
Okay. Yes. I'm doing like I like to use that as kind of a base, like the 9 square quilt as a base, and then put words around it. So I'll probably do several more like that in the future. Like
okay.
You Are My Sunshine is another. It's just a little smaller than the others, but yeah.
Because my idea is to frame them and then put them on the wall near each other. So
Yay, that'll be great.
I love them. So
Awesome.
that's the one thing of yours that I've actually finished. I might have several going, but that's the one that's finished, and it just has to be put in a frame. So
Okay. Well, it's gorgeous. Thank you for stitching.
Thank you for designing it because I love it. So
good.
Yeah.
And I believe I started that one at StitchCon. I did it. I was the last person waiting for my flight was later than everybody else, and I was sitting at my table, and everybody had gone home, and I'm sitting there stitching away. So that's a memory for me that I started it there. So
that's great. Yeah, StitchCon is fun. I've been one time. This year I'm going to 3 retreats, maybe 4. I don't even remember anymore. That's going to be fun.
I'm doing 2 this year. I'm going back to Stitch North, and I'm doing StitchCon again.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
Fun to be with like-minded people and meeting new friends and stitching all day. And there's nothing else I should be doing at that moment. Like there's no sink full of dishes to do. I could just sit there and stitch.
Yeah, it is fun. It is fun to be with other stitchers because we all speak the same language.
Yes.
Okay, and now, girls, we've got to talk about your helpers, Susan. Susan has 2 helpers in her shop, Sweetland Studio.
This is Boo and Mavi, and then Boo is on the right. Mavi is sitting there on the left. And this was actually just yesterday. I took a notepad outside to try to do some sketch work, and because it was such a pretty day, and they were having none of it. Mavi sat on my notepad, and Boo got right up there and said, "No, Mom, you're going to pay attention to me."
Oh, they're cute. So, oh my goodness.
They're my babies for sure.
Aww.
I love them more than anything.
And here's
here's
one of my helpers. He's hanging around waiting for a treat. Oreo, say hi. Oh, he sees something out the window. Can you say hello to Mommy's friends? Hi.
I like him. He's
It's my baby.
Oreo. He was barking earlier trying to get on the...
Yeah. And that's why he's hanging around, because I put treats on the table so that when he barks, I could give him a treat. So he was there. I just scooped him up when you guys were talking about those beautiful cats. I do have one question that's always kind of in the back of my mind. As a designer, does it bother you when we switch out a fabric for a different color, or if we say, oh, let me use this thread instead, like a changing something in your design? Does that ever get under your skin, or is that
Never ever. I love it. I love to see people try different things. Just because I did it the way I thought looked the best does not mean that I was correct about that. And there's so many times where I see people posting their pictures online of what they've stitched of mine, and they do a better job picking out colors or picking out fabric. And I'm like, oh, I wish I'd have thought of that.
That's
No,
good
I
to
don't
know.
mind
I
at
always
all.
feel like I'm doing something wrong. Like this isn't the way it was intended, but
I know. I felt that way too when I first got back into stitching, thinking that I had to do it exactly the way the designer wanted it. And, if you do it that way, it's going to turn out the way the picture looks, most likely.
right.
But it's, yeah, you go for it. Absolutely. I love it. I love to see the different colors that people pick out and the creativity. I want everybody to use their creativity without a doubt.
That's good to know. You never want to feel like you're insulting the designer by saying, no, I'm going to do it this way. So thank
I'm
you.
not that way.
Well, and along those lines, if we took a wordy bird pattern and only did one bird, you also wouldn't be like, what was wrong with the rest of the pattern?
No, because I stitched those myself, and I know sometimes you only want to do one bird.
Okay.
It's totally fine. Don't ever worry about that with patterns. You just do what you want to with them.
All right. I like that. That's a relief.
Yes.
I will have links to everything down below. Susan's shop on Etsy, her website, and Dori's YouTube channel, her Instagram. Give her a follow, subscribe, see all the whips she's got. She often shares her shopping hauls, and that's fun too, because it's like, look what else I bought. And it's like, ooh.
Yeah, I sometimes lose control a little bit. I told Susan when she had her sale for her 5-year anniversary, I had 10 of her patterns in my cart. And I said, I got to reel this back a little bit. Because there's not enough time in the day to stitch all of these things. But I love everything, so I just want to have it. So.
I know.
Well, we're glad you share with us too on your channel, because it's fun to live vicariously too and go shopping with you.
It's fun. It's fun because you feel like you're talking to friends. And I often wonder, I think my pets say, who's she talking to? There's nobody here, but I do. I feel like I'm sharing with all my friends. So it's nice. It's nice to have that outlet.
It was fun with you guys. Thank you so much for joining me, Susan and Dori. We get to ask questions and look at all the pretty patterns.
Thank you for hosting us. This was great.
Thanks for having me, Tina.
Well, anytime. You're welcome back anytime. And thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.